What's up, everybody? It's Barry with Vulcan Glass Art Studio, and today we're going to go over the first project that I teach anyone when they start learning to blow glass, and that's the Twistie bead. On screen are all of the tools and glass that you're going to need for this project, so make sure you like that video, hit that subscribe button for future notifications, and let's get started. So your first step in this Twistie bead is to go ahead and pull a stringer of color. Stringer is just a long, thin piece of glass, so you just get the tip of your color nice and warm. Once it starts moving around, grab with tweezers and pull real slow. Then flame cut and set that aside. Now you're going to grab your 12mm clear rod and we're going to do our gather. Gravity is one of the tools that you end up using most in glass. So if I want my glass to gather up, you can see I'm holding my hand at a kind of downward angle. If I wanted it to stretch out, you hold it up like that. And if you just want it to kind of heat and not really do anything, you hold it level. So we want to gather it up, so I'm going to hold it at a slight downward angle. And you end up adding a lot of glass to this piece during the process of making it. So you don't want this gather to be too large, otherwise you'll end up with an oversized piece at the end. That should be pretty good. So now you're going to take your color in your left hand, heat your gather up, and just jam the color in. And don't worry if it deforms your bead too much. That'll get fixed in the next step, but obviously less deformities are better. Alright, once you have enough color in there, go ahead and flame cut. Set your color aside. Now you're going to grab your 4mm clear rod. Heat your gather up, and then press the rod in, bring it out, rotate just your right hand, and hold your left hand still. And it'll twist the glass all around itself, and then it'll end up getting frosty at the end. And once that happens, go ahead and flame cut your 4mm rod off. So now all you want to do is get rid of all that texture. Kind of hold it level. You can rotate it back and forth to kind of hit the piece from different angles and spread your heat around. And you just want to get that back to a nice ball shape. Once you get this to a ball shape, you're going to go ahead and set it on the graphite, and that's going to define the back. Alright, you got it in the ball, and then you just set it on the graphite, and you set the rod on the graphite too, so that your back is lined up with the rest of the rod. You don't want it to be up or down or anything like that. That way your piece will still stay level. And the point of that was to, give a flat spot for the piece to lay, so when you're wearing it, it doesn't roll around your neck, it actually stays put. So now we're going to do the loop. So first we're going to add a handle to the bottom using a cold seal, which means I heated the 4mm rod, but not the piece. And that'll create a seal that'll stick, but in the end of the process when you tap it off, it won't take a giant piece of glass with it. You got to be a little bit careful with it though. So now you're going to heat the section right above your loop. Once that's nice and hot, flat side up, down and away, hold, flip, and back down. And then don't let those touch. There should be a tiny little space, you can kind of see it right there, between the two. Once your loop stops moving, you want to flame cut this away. And I actually did touch it, like I said not to. So when that happens, just pull a little bit off, otherwise your loop will be too fat at the back. So now you press in and melt the base of your loop so that it's all one piece of glass. There's no visible seam. And then we're just going to straighten it. For this, you want to heat the front of the loop a little bit more than the back, but you want the whole thing to be hot enough so that you can move it, but not hot enough to where it moves on its own. And you're just going to kind of straighten it. And you grab it through it, find something metal. If you have a torch like the Carlisle, the head's fine, but for most torches, something else is better. Tap, that'll come off. There's a tiny little scar that gets left over. Heat that up. And you have your little bead. Toss that one in the kiln, and you're ready for the next. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and then if you want to support the channel further, check us out on Patreon at Vulcan Glass TV. I'll see you in the next one.